Okay, joined with by Helen right now. Very interesting. We've been talking over the last couple of weeks, and I guess hello, great to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Okay, and you are in Michigan. What part of Michigan?
I am in Macomb County, Michigan. I'm northeast of Detroit.
Okay, I got in touch with you because one of your friends maybe suggested I get in touch with you. You had something interesting with your family happen with your late mother, and your mother she passed away when?
She passed away June of 2015. And then my sister received a notification in the mail asking my deceased mother to register to vote for the Secretary of State at Michigan.
Okay,
So,
let me put this up on the screen. This is what you said. This is what came in the mail, right?
yep, that is correct.
Okay, and we talked a little before, and in the state of Michigan, there are organizations or groups that will try to solicit people to get them to register to vote. And this may be from one of those organizations because I see the return address from Alexandria, Virginia. But what did you think when you first saw this? What was your first thought?
Well, my first thought to looking at this was like, great, they're going to get more dead people on the voter rolls to have to vote. So it's the first thing that I thought of.
Did it look? I mean, did you think this was from the actual state of Michigan?
Yeah, I never even looked at the return address until you pointed that out. The response is to go to michigan.gov. It's got the, pretty picture of the state of Michigan on it. So yes, I just assumed it was from the state of Michigan.
Yeah, and oops, hold on here. And that's the thing. And it might be. Hold on here. Got having some issues. I don't know where it's from. Just looking at it, it looks really official. But I've done several stories in the last 6 months where different nonprofits or different groups will send out stuff to try to get you to vote. There was one with Michelle Obama's picture on it, and it made it look like it was from the state, but it wasn't. So that's a problem amongst itself. But the fact that your mother's name is Helen.
Correct?
Okay, so your mother's name was on that. Your mother passed away in 2015. We're in 2024 now. What problem, no matter who sent it out, what problem do you have with this?
Well, they shouldn't be sending applications in the name of deceased individuals to vote. Period. I mean, we know in the state of Michigan and probably several other states, there's a whole bunch of deceased people on the voter rolls. They need to clean up the voter rolls. They need to get rid of it. After what happened in the last election, I don't have a whole lot of faith in the election system in the state of Michigan right now. So,
Mm.
that just gives me more reason to question the integrity of the voting system in the state, unfortunately. I have no idea if a vote was ever cast in my mother's name. Not a clue. I never checked, so I have no idea. And I'm not saying that anybody fraudulently voted in her name. Just the fact that she got mail asking to vote just begs the question.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that either, and I'm not alleging that there has been any fraud on any
Correct.
behalf. People are, but there has been. Jocelyn Benson had said there is no evidence of fraud in the election. But the one thing that a lot of people like you are saying, when you see something like this pop up in the mail and you hear stories about this, it gets people thinking, right? It probably creates conspiracy theories. If whether
Mm.
they're true or not, it gets suspicion out there, which isn't good.
Right. Exactly.
And honestly, it probably, I mean, it's been that long, but it's hard to, you never get over the loss of a parent. It's probably kind of weird to have mail coming for your mother who's deceased.
Sure. Absolutely.
Wow. So Michigan, yeah, there's been a lot of research. The voter rolls, they need to be cleaned up in the state of Michigan. There's been lawsuits. Jocelyn Benson said she's doing, what's required by law, and they're going to remove hundreds of thousands of them in the year 2027. But how important do you think it is to clean this up years ago, probably?
Well, yeah. I mean, Death certificates get filed all the time, whether it's with the Department of Vital Statistics. Death certificates get filed at the Register of Deeds offices whenever properties are transferred. So there's public record in multiple places when somebody has passed away. Why that does not cross over to voter rolls and automatically trigger something, I don't understand. Things are digital and electronic enough where there could be checks and balances between multiple systems to remove people from the voter rolls. Then
Yeah,
there
and
won't
then
be any speculation.
you get this in the mail from your mother who passed away 15 years ago.
Right.
And like I said, we're not alleging anything, but you could, once you get that in the mail, then your mind starts thinking,
Sure.
well, if I was someone not, of a moral standard, who
Right.
knows what you could
Right.
do. I mean, it's illegal. It's a crime to do
Sure.
something, but there are a lot of bad people out there.
Unfortunately, that's true.
Wow. So this really isn't, and I'll ask you, political. It shouldn't be political, right? It doesn't matter if it's Democrat, Republican, Independent. It should be about having trust, right?
Absolutely. You want your elections to be with integrity. You want to be able to believe the count that's coming in regardless who it's for.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's not blue or red. It's not one candidate or the other. It just needs to be cleaned up.
And if this was, which I believe it may have been because it's Virginia, the address, but who knows? If it was an outside organization that sent this, they got the address, they got her name, most likely from the state of Michigan. So either they messed up or Michigan. Your point is someone didn't get it right.
Well, absolutely. That's the whole point. There are so many state and county and city entities that get notification when people pass away for regardless of the transaction. So why it doesn't carry over to the voter rolls makes no sense to me. It should, and I believe that there's the technological capability to do that. So let's clean up the voter rolls so we can have trust again in our elections. That's all.
Yeah.
It's very
Yeah.
simple.
Easy as that. Easy as that. Okay. Well, yeah, and they don't when you die, she didn't keep getting Social Security, I'm sure. I'm sure
Oh,
Social
absolutely. That got stopped right away.
probably like right away.
Oh,
I bet.
absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so if the Social Security Department, if they find out, they know she's dead, they cut her off there. You would think then the state would be able to integrate all of that somehow.
You would think.
Wow. Okay, well, I appreciate you bringing it to light and
No
let people
problem.
know, and hopefully the state sees it, and just an example of why it creates confusion, and that shouldn't be out there because it's this kind of stuff that people, like you said, trust. It's a trust
Sure.
issue.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Regardless who you vote for, it's a trust issue.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.